Well, greetings, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Can't Wait Wednesdays here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and we've made it to the middle of the week. It is indeed Can't Wait Wednesday, hump day, getting over the hump, rolling into the weekend. And what do we have this weekend waiting for us in the theaters? Nothing. There is nothing coming out in the theaters, at least nothing that has piqued my interest. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. It's January. It's to be expected. Normally in January, that's the dumping ground for these studios. They'll take movies that they know it's not gonna make much money. They'll just throw it in a theater. Hopefully they'll recoup the budget or something and go on about their business. You're not going to see any real blockbuster type films coming out this time of the year. But, with all the pandemic delays and everything, you would expect some films probably to come out this month, but nope, nothing, especially this week. Now, last week you had a few films, but this week, nothing. Nothing, not even nothing on television. At least nothing new. We do have one thing coming out this weekend, and it is a big thing. At least it is in my house. This is something I've been waiting on for, I'll say over a year. I think it's been up. I think it's been over a year since the last season of this show premiered, and actually. The date of it was March of 2020 was the season 3 of this show, and we're finally getting season 4 this Friday on Netflix. We're getting Ozark season 4, and I am so excited for this show. We're getting the first half of the final season of the Netflix hit crime drama, which stars Jason Bateman. It will begin, as I said, this Friday on the 21st. Ozark is probably the best show that Netflix has ever put out. This is one of my favorite shows on Netflix, hands down. If not television, period. Currently, this is a awesome show. I've seen, man. I mean, from the direction, the acting, the story, the subplots, everything, all the characters, all of them fit the story. There's not a character that's out of place. There isn't a storyline that is out of place. There isn't anything that just doesn't line up, with the progression of the main story of this show. And rarely you see a show like this. And it is so well produced. I just love this show. This is a show that me and my wife have watched together since 2017 when it first premiered on Netflix. Season 1, and I got into it because Justin Bateman. I'm a big fan of Justin Bateman, and I figured, okay, I'll check it out because he's known for comedy. I love his Arrested Development, other movies that he's appeared in. And so I've been a big fan of his. Hey, I can even go back to Teen Wolf 2, which was horrible, but I just love Jason Bateman. Love him. Love him. And this is not your typical Jason Bateman film or television show, should I say. This is a completely different character. This is a drama, and it is a brutal drama. And to make matters even more intense, Jason Bateman has directed, I believe I read, 11 episodes of this series over the last 3 seasons. I'm pretty sure he directed a few for this upcoming season, but he has directed, I know for certain, the season premieres of every season. So, and a few episodes sprinkled in and there, but he has directed the most out of all directors on this show, and he's even won an Emmy for his direction on this show. And he is an awesome director. The episodes that he direct are outstanding. To kind of pivot off of Ozark for a second, there's a show that came on HBO, and now that now that I decided to talk about it, the name escapes my mind. But Ben Mickelson was the star. Let me see if I can look it up right quick, because he was like in the first couple of episodes of this show, and he directed the first two, but he did such a good job. Actually, the first four episodes, and the show is The Outsider, that was on HBO. That was awesome. The first 4 episodes. When he left the series, when he stopped, now he was an executive producer on it, but when he left the show and in his direction, it went down. I mean, it was good, it was decent, but it just didn't have that same. His episodes were awesome. They was along the same tone as an Ozark, but it had kind of a supernatural element to it, but not so much. It was subtle, and it was just good. It was good television, but it went downhill after he didn't direct any more episodes. But the episodes he directed on Ozark were some of the most intense, nail biting episodes of this show, and man, I love it. I love it because it doesn't hold anything back. It is, of course, it's Netflix, so there's nothing to hold back on here. It is brutal. It is vulgar. It is all that, but it is at the core, it is a family drama. You know, you have Jason Bateman and his wife, played by the great Laura Linney. Their dynamic, their marital stripes, even before they went on this trip to the Ozarks, they were having marital problems. Now they're forced to work together. Their children are kind of, they're teenagers, so you know where that go. if you have teenagers, or if you are one, you know how you are. But it's a family dynamic. Is a lot going on there, and they all have their own individual stories, but it all ties in to the main story. Nothing is going off on his own to his own little thing. Everything is tied together, and I love how it works together. And it's not done cheap. It's not done corny. It is real. It is very real. And honestly, you really don't know, not week to week, because it's not released like that. It's released binge worthy. You don't know episode to episode who's going to live and who's going to die. You really don't know, because, characters that are in the show who are prominent, they leave, they die, and it's tragic. It's just sudden. And it's like, wow, going back to season 3, in season 3, there was a subplot there that was the most brutal of the previous 3 seasons. And spoilers, if you haven't watched Ozark, I highly recommend it. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just going to tiptoe around it, but I really won't. If you haven't watched Ozark on Netflix, man, just sit down put it on. Clear your schedule. 3 seasons, hour episode. You might can bang this out in about 3 or 4 days. If you have absolutely nothing to do, you probably can knock it out in 2 days. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know your schedule. Don't know your attention span, but it will hook you because, and I'm going all over the place, but in the instance of when we started watching it, I say, well, we'll watch a couple of episodes and, I'll watch something else after that, then we'll go back, watch a few more. We end up binging the whole first season. When the second season came out, we binged that in like a day and a half. The third season, same thing. It hooks you. It is just that gripping. It is just that well acted, well written, well directed. I mean, it is perfect film making. If you inspire to be a filmmaker or love the filmmaking process, I highly recommend this show just for that. It is a beautifully made show, and I hope it continues in season 4. But in season 3, they had a subplot that arose with involved Laura Linney's character and her brother, and it was the most tragic story because you felt it. You felt it. And I wish I knew the actor's name before I brought it up because I wanted to let it be known. I never follow the Emmys like that, as far as who get nominated, who don't, who deserve to be nominated, who don't. I do that with the Academy Awards a lot, but not so much with Emmys because I don't follow television enough to be a clear judge of performances. I don't know who performance was best and all this here because there's so many shows, there's so much to keep up with. But I can honestly say the actor who portrayed Laura Linney's character brother was robbed that year because he wasn't nominated. When I say his performance in that season was the best performance I've seen of that year, of 2020, and I'm talking television, movies, web series, stage performances. I don't care what you saw in 2020. That was the best I've seen. His performance was just soul crushing. Cause he dealt with mental issues. He dealt with a form of schizophrenia, and I know people who has dealt with this and still are dealing with that. So I have kind of a first-hand knowledge of it, not to the point to whereas I'm an expert in the field, but I know how it affects a person and their family. And this show showed that, and it was like, wow. And his performance, it could have came off once again as cheesy. It couldn't came off as just being a cartoonish version of that mental illness, but it was done perfectly. The actor, he was on Iron Fist, also on Netflix, that, Marvel show, the worst of the Marvel shows, Iron Fist, but he was good in Iron Fist, but in here he was awesome. I mean, amazing. And what happens to his character, it will touch you. What happens to Laura Linney, and it will touch. I mean, it affects what happens to him affects all the main characters of this show. And what happens, the results of what he did affects everybody on this show. I mean, it is just, I don't know who writes this show. Well, I do know because I'm looking at the names, but I mean, I don't know how they come up with this. That should I say. It is amazing, man. It is, oh my goodness. I mean, words can't express how good it is. how good it ended the season 3, because you would think season 3 would have been the last, because it was setting it up to be the last. Like I say, you never know who's gonna live or die, and the way they were setting it up all last season, you just knew for a fact that one of these main characters, whether it was Jason Bateman or Laura Linney, was gonna die at the end of episode 3. I mean, at the end of season 3. And the way season 3 ended, you're like, oh, it's like it was a relief that they still alive. I mean, it's not spoiled. It's because we get to season 4. So yeah, when they survived at the end of that season, you're like, oh my goodness. But every season is like that, and it's earned. Everything is earned, and how they get through these mess that they create. You know, they always come up with a plan to get out of this mess. They spend the whole season planning how to get out of the mess that they're in. And it's always something that comes along and derails it. It's something stupid. And then it's the fact that they're both trying to get out of it, but they're both going at it in different ways. And it kind of contradicts the other, and it messes up their... I mean, it's just so much. It's so much. But if they will just work together and try to get out of the mess, they might succeed. But I'm excited, man. I am super excited. I'm guessing, like I said, this is the first half of the final season that they're releasing this Friday. I'm guessing the pandemic is the cause of that. Maybe they didn't finish filming the final season. I'm just guessing. I tried to look it up to see what the reason was. I didn't see what the reason was, but that's the only thing I can logically think of while they're splitting it in 2, because I think they're only releasing 3 episodes on Friday. At least that's what I'm looking at on here. Yeah, just 3. I think there should be more. I hope. I hope it's more than 3. But anyways, it's good. But either way, I'm happy because, you know, we all know this is the final season, and it's a blessing because we know Netflix have no problems canceling a show prematurely. I really thought they were going to cancel this show. Because Netflix, they have zero tolerance, but they have zero tolerance, it seems like, for the wrong shows. Some shows they should cancel the first week. Some shows they shouldn't even put in production that they release. But they don't give shows a chance to find an audience. For example, like Jupiter's Legacy. I actually enjoyed Jupiter's Legacy. The show that came out last year, the superhero show. Was it the greatest? No. You know, but I think they were setting it up. I think it was, if you give it time, you know what I'm saying? Just give it time, give it another season so it can find its audience, and you might have something there, because there was a lot there, you know, but they didn't give it a shot. I think maybe 2 weeks after it was released, I don't even think it was 2 weeks, probably a week after they released it, they canceled it. I'm like, man, you ain't give it a chance. I mean, you didn't give it a chance. But Ozark was always on the fence. You know, it was always on the fence of being canceled. And I never understood why, because I know a lot of people who watch this show. It's a popular show, and it's always in the top 10 on Netflix when it releases. So, which doesn't mean nothing, because, like I said, Jupiter's Legacy was in the top 10 when when they canceled it, so they don't care. They don't care. But I'm glad we're going to get a final season, and I think this is the right time to just hit the brakes on it, because it's getting to the point where what's that expression they use in television? Jump the shark. It is almost to the point where they're about to jump the shark. So it's time to go out with a bang here. So the authorities are getting closer. I don't know how much more they can avoid that. The cartel is getting catching up with them intelligence wise. So you can't outsmart them anymore because they're just as smart. So now you kind of you either roll with them or get rolled over. So this is the season. I think it's perfect to just let it go. So the only question mark is, how is it going to end? How, are we going to ride into the sunset, or are we riding in a hearse with our main characters here? Because they are deep now. They are deep in it. There is no walking away now, the way it was left off in season 3. So this is going to be a very interesting season, and I can't wait. And I don't have to wait too much longer. We are getting the first half of season 4, the final season of Ozark, this Friday, January the 21st. So, are you Ozark fans? Do y'all like Ozark? Have you seen Ozark? I'm telling you, if you haven't seen Ozark, I promise you, please, ma'am, please, sir, go watch it from the beginning, because you have to watch it all. You can't just jump in season 4 after the first episode. This don't make any sense. It's stupid. Well, you didn't watch. You don't know how we got to this point. Go back. I'm telling you. Once you start watching it, once you start getting entrenched with the story, you're gonna be hooked. I guarantee you will be hooked, and it will not let you down. It is a awesome show. So let me know. You can email the show at kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. Look us up on our various social media platforms, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and now I said Facebook. Now YouTube and TikTok, all that good stuff. Snapchat, yeah, we on Snapchat too. And yeah, we everywhere. We are everywhere to be found. You can't run from us. You can't hide. We're here. As always, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor, and it's been a privilege to speak to you on this Can't Wait Wednesday as we prepare for the final season of Ozark. All right. So, everybody, hope you enjoy Ozark this weekend. That's all we got. There's still some football to be played, I guess. For all you football fans, playoffs are still going on, and you got that. So, but I would pick Ozark. Pick Ozark unless you're one of the teams that's remaining. One of those teams are you're rooting for. Good luck to y'all. My team is sitting at home watching Ozark. So everybody, until we speak again, I want you to know that I love you. Continue to love one another, and you all be blessed.